quick. And they don't play no type of games. And they call back is on E. On fleek. They got that snapback. They got the flick of the wrist. That's what cats got. They got the flick of the wrist. They don't play no type of games. They quick to throw hands. That's why I don't want none with that cat. I don't want none with it. Okay, but I got off topic. So my sister Brandi Hall, she's been bullying me for quite some time, and I know that I talked about her in a previous video, and I put on the title like Brandi Moshelle Hall exposed. So this is kind of like this is a continuation of the last video that I made on her. But she forced me to marry her. She's been human trafficking me. She's been interfering in my love life, like my romantic life. She also has been like playing the victim, like gaining sympathy from people and like playing the victim and trying to act like, you know, she's done nothing wrong, or like I hurt her for no reason. And you know, sometimes she would just flat out lie and tell people that I hit her. Like, it was one time where she lied and said that I hit her, and she told a bunch of like her white associates, and she lied to them and she told them that I hit her. But see, the way her face looked at the time, you would have probably thought it was messed up, it was jacked up. She had a black eye. Her whole eyeball was like red, like, and when I say red, I mean like the Deadpool jumpsuit red. Like, it was bad. And I didn't know what happened to her. Like, I thought maybe she got jumped and robbed or something. Like, when I saw her face, I just assumed that she got jumped and they robbed her or something, or maybe she got into a real bad fight. You know, maybe it was like a school fight or something like that. Because I don't remember her talking about it much. I did remember seeing her black eye, and I wondered what happened. But if I can be entirely honest, me and my sister were not as close as people thought. It seemed that way, but so when things like that happened with my sister, I didn't say anything because I feel like I was spiritually guided to kind of recognize that my sister was not someone to be close to or support. You know what I mean? It was like I had that spiritual guidance, which kind of like triggered my intuition to kind of be more aware of the subtleties and not to really call her out. You know, because most of the time, like, when you know somebody, you're close to them, and they start acting strange or they start exhibiting red flags, you call it out. You try to give them a chance. But my sister was not one of those people. You know, I tried that when we were kids, and she would always argue. She would always overtalk me. She would, you know, ignore me. She would just pretty much deflect from the conversation. She was very difficult to reason with. So she's one of those people where once you get close to her and you get to know her, you'll find out how difficult and defensive she really is. Because, truth be told, I have tried multiple times to see eye to eye with her, to reach a compromise, and a lot of the times I had to borderline cut her off just to get her to bend, to compromise. Like, cause she would just take advantage of, and she was like that with everyone that like got close to her. She was like that. Like, her true colors just came out. Like, say if, you know, I had a friend over, she may be nice like the first 2 or 3 visits, and then after that she'll start to kind of be rude. And at first it was a little funny, like, my sister's funny. Like, she knows how to be funny. She knows how to be like rude funny. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, that's not personal. Hi, you're just being funny. And it's funny at first. But then over a time, it's, you know, a person's like, okay, that was funny at first, but now you play too much. And then over time, it becomes, okay, you're starting to get on my nerves. Then after she continues to start acting like that, then it's, okay, you know, what's your problem? And then it's, okay, well, you don't want to talk about it, so let's reach a compromise. She refuses to do that. Then it's, okay, I'm kind of getting tired of you acting like that. Then it's, okay, I'm starting to lose my patience with you. Then it's to a point where she can sense that she's about to get cut off. Or sometimes you have to give her the silent treatment to get her to cooperate. I've had to, because she's my sister and we lived in the same house. So, and then she and I shared the same room. Like, I could never get a break from her. Like, there would be times where I'd rather sleep on the couch than in my own room, because I was tired of her. But yeah, it just gets to the point where I just had to start giving her silent treatment. I didn't want to talk to her no way, but she was one of those people where if she was in her mood and she wanted me to respond to her, she would do everything in her power to get me to respond. And I mean, like, that includes like being extremely annoying. Yeah, she would just do everything in her power to get a response, to dominate, and to cause friction. Yeah. And I didn't have an adult figure to protect me from her. I didn't have that at all. There was no one in my family that was willing to stand up for me when it came to my sister. They would just let her act however she wanted. And they supported her, and they ganged up on me with her. And that was really it. I mean, I didn't have nobody to really have my back except for like strangers and maybe like supporters that were like outside my family. But my family members, all of them gang up on me all the time. They gang up on me, they block me. Like I said, if somebody has a choice between working hard to get what they want or taking advantage of someone that's vulnerable, my family members chose to take advantage of me being vulnerable. If they make, say, $100 million per family member just stealing from me, like, I'm just this is just a hypothetical. I don't know how much money they have or how much they stole, but I'm just guesstimating here. Like, if they make $100 million per family member per year, that's a lot of money. But sometimes greed gets the better of people, and it may corrupt or dominate their core values. And they'll take, some of them may have been able to travel around the world with my money. They may have been on a yacht with my money. They may have had the nicest, freshest clothes with some of the best food with my money. So I do blame them, but I do kind of understand why they don't really want to go back. They've been eating filet mignon for 25 years straight. I highly doubt they want to go back to eating Campbell's chicken noodle soup in a can. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, but it's still not right, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? To do somebody like that. Not to mention the fact that they did gang rape me. Like, my family members did gang rape me, and a lot of the people in these organizations, like these homeless shelters, like Camilla's house, Andre's house, the Hope Center, I mean, like I said, just these different organizations have participated in the gang rape. And how they processed their guilt was not by going to go get help. It wasn't by confessing. Some of them did confess, and they took they took some kind of accountability, and they confessed. Because some people, I'm not taking up for them or sticking up for their behavior, but when I found out what happened and how they got involved, I started to understand the position that they were in. Like, some of them were kids at the time, and they got sucked into it, and then as adults, it's like when you're taught something as a child, you learn it as an adult. It's like that. I mean, it's still a character test, and they failed it miserably, but it's one of those situations where when you corrupt a child, it's kind of hard to uncorrupt them when they become an adult. It's very difficult. But at the same time, as a child, they should have known better as well. Like, after a certain age, they should have known that what they were doing was wrong. And a lot of them made a choice There were some that were, there were a few that were forced to be involved. You know, like they're not the problem and they are good people, but that's a rare number. Most of the people that were involved, I'd say about 80% of the people that are involved in the gang rape made a choice to participate, and then the other 20% were forced to because they were human trafficked. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like they had no free will. You know, their drink was spiked. They were given drugs, and you know, with human trafficking, there can be an adult that is forced to do something that they normally would not do if they were not spiked. So this is a trigger warning for those who are, you know, kind of like sensitive to graphic information. But there are some people that are actually victims in human trafficking, and those victims have no control over their free will. And that's a complete violation of one of the universe's most sacred rules, which is do not violate another person's free will. You're never supposed to do that. If you do that, if you take away someone's free will, especially for an extended period of time, even just doing it once, it can put you in that negative, can put you in a very negative energy, and the ancestors and the spirits will recognize you as someone to either attack or someone to neglect. I'm just giving the information as it's been told to me. So if you're known as somebody that takes away other people's free will, you have a mark on you. If you do it just one time, the ancestors and the spirits will give you the side eye. But if you, like, say if you redeem yourself and you repent and you confess and you really apologize and you're genuine about it, you know, forgive and let go. You know, forgive and forget. But if there's a pattern and consistency of you violating someone's free will, you will have a genetic marker on you. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're doing that, your children are going to do the exact same thing that you're doing. So you're going to have a genetic marker on you. And if you continue past a certain point, past like warnings, like spiritual warnings, community warnings, then not only will you be cursed, you're going to be cursed. If you continue after you've been cursed, because curses can be lifted by community service or good works, acts of faith, like self-sacrifice, or, you know, like community service, volunteer, and is genuine and your heart's in the right place. A curse can be lifted, especially if you're putting in the hard work. But if a person continues to go beyond being cursed to violate someone's free will, then you're gonna attract like demons, ghouls, ghosts, like people that are like in purgatory or in the 3D still, and they haven't moved forward, but they're like, because they have unfinished business and they don't want to ascend or descend. Like they want to stay on the 3D plane, and they want to come back. Like they want to have another chance at life. Those entities are going to be drawn to you. And trust me, there's no scarier experience than having a bunch of entities that are coming after you because they want another chance and they ready for you to slip up and die, or put yourself at a low vibration so that they can take over. You do not want that type of bad energy on you. Trust me, you don't. But some people don't take it seriously because they're so used to, you know, all these, you know, the devil worship and the satanic worship. They watch too many movies, and they think it's some kind of like, you know, gothic dress up cosplay. They think it's like a gothic cosplay or some heavy metal concert, and they don't take it seriously. Or they think, oh yeah, that's super cool, until they start experiencing body pains and headaches and nosebleeds and all these inconveniences of having dark entities inside your body, the side effects. You know, they think that it's cool until they get possessed. They think it's cool until they lose control of their body and their memory and all this other stuff that's going on, it's not fun. It's like the next worst thing to hell is being possessed. It's terrible.